kittens. I think you met Peaches in the last video, so just kind of, she's been a really good mom. She is one of two siblings. Pavetta is the other female cat. Hi, this is our dog once again, Duchess. Hello, how are you doing? Halo is actually the mother of Peaches and Pavetta. She is the tabby striped cat you might have seen in the last video. Um, she's 2 or 3 years old, and these are only about not quite a year. So they're considered tabicos because they're calico, but they have little bits of stripes in them. You'll see that more on Pavetta. This little stripe on her tail kind of indicates that. In here is the cat room, the cattery that I talked about. So you might notice the bed. No, I don't sleep there. I just rest as I need to with my condition every half hour or so, and then the cats will come hang out with me. It makes it kind of a fun thing, and it just keeps me able to engage with them longer and in this space. But it may not look like a whole lot right now, but it was not great before, and this is much better than it was. So, you know, having this carpet here, getting the walls insulated, getting all these catwalks up, I did that. Even the little brick stand to get to the window. This nest used to be up there, but once these guys figured out how to use their legs, which was just a few days ago, fall risk was a big deal, so we had to move it. I say we, it was me, but they are now down here in this little corralled area, exploring the world with their little legs, and in a few days they're gonna figure out how to climb over this, and then I'll have to make an even bigger one. But yeah, let's just meet the cast really quick. So this, just as a side note, I named all of them after cast members of the Witcher series. If you're familiar, it's a fantasy book series, kind of like Lord of the Rings. So this is Dandelion. Orange cats are almost always male, so he is no different. This is a male cat. This is Yennefer. She's a female. She's mostly black and white with little tufts of orange. Super cute. She's a really smart kitten. She's been the first to figure out everything. This is Geralt. He's the heaviest one. He's like significantly bigger than the rest of them. He's got a little eye infection right now, and oh, careful. It's getting better. He can open it today, so that's a good sign. And where did Marigold go? She's probably behind. Hey, little guy. Marigold is a calico female. Oh, she's just hiding in here. What's up, girlfriend? So she has a little bit of the eye infection as well. I'll have to give them their drops soon. I brought them to the vet to just have it double checked, and he gave them some antibiotics and some medicated drops. So they're getting better soon. It's very common for cats, kittens especially, to get eye infections. It's not too big of a deal if you watch them early. Wow. And just make sure that you don't let it get out of hand. I put warm compress on them to help get the infection out, and the antibiotics are going to do the rest. So these are the 4-week-old guys and gals. So over here we have the 2-week-olds, and looks like the mom just stepped out. She was here just a second ago. I don't want to disturb them too much, but I'll just describe them and give their names. They are very kind of similar. There's no orange cat, but there is 2 tabicos, a striped gray one, and then a black and white one. So the 2 females I called Falca and Nissel, and the little gray one is Brief, and the black and white one is Gus or Gazaler. So, oh, here's Pavetta. I named her Pavetta because in the Witcher series, Ciri is kind of one of the main characters. She's a young woman with white hair, half elven, and her mom has it's a complicated situation. But anyway, this cat reminded me of Ciri's mom, and so I was like, oh, if Pavetta has a white cat, we can name her Ciri, and then we'll have the whole family. It'll be perfect. She didn't have a white cat, so anyway, I named the Ciri pseudo cat Falca because at one point Siri has to go undercover and she calls herself Falca. So it worked out kind of, but I really enjoyed the little, I guess, nod to the Witcher series. But anyway, they just had their breakfast and um, she's wondering if she can have seconds. Should probably close that. But this is the space, and you know it's a little rough, but I'm really proud of where it's come and where it is now. So it's got plenty of ways that we can improve it. I would love to actually put real walls in, some actual drywall studs, some subfloor, because this is just concrete. It gets really cold, and the walls need to be tuck pointed. If you can see right through the walls, which is not great. So, you know, when it rains, it gets a little wet in here. I would love to fix that up because that's one of the biggest problems, as well as just there's open walls on that side. So wind, when it gets going, it goes all the way through the building. So it's kind of why I put those tarps up, to at least give some wind block and to at least deter. I can close that a little bit to deter other wildlife from exploring over here. So it's definitely a work in progress, but it is progressing, and I'm really happy with it. So the cats are quite healthy. They're quite comfortable here, and these guys are just so fun to watch. They're ridiculous. A quick note on kitten litter. If you're ever raising kittens, it's fairly important to get clay, non-clumping litter, because the clumping litter, which is very common for adult cats, can actually injure them, because they tend to, the kittens that is, you know, do everything wrong, and they'll eat the litter, they'll get it all wet, and if they have, you know, expanding matter inside of them, it can be really bad for them. So make sure that it is non-clumping clay litter. Also, a little note on the nests. Cats really like cave-like structures. That's what they're used to in the wild, in nature. So they kind of like this box within a box kind of thing. They're not so much in it now because it's so warm out, but you know, they like the darkness of the cloths being over it. I opened it recently just to kind of, you know, be able to see them better. But I set up several nesting options so that they wouldn't move the kittens. That's a very common issue. If the cat, you know, comes upon labor and it didn't find a great nest and then it has to relocate because of threats, that can just cause a lot of problems. So thankfully, none of them moved their kittens. They stayed here, and I'm pretty happy with that because it means I did something right as far as making them feel safe. There's resources nearby, and yeah, they're pretty content here. I'm worried that Halo, the mother of these two, sorry, I just pushed a button. She's also pregnant. She's the one that hasn't had the kittens yet, and she doesn't like loud noises. The farm is quite loud. There's tractors, there's things driving around, so she often leaves for several days, and she's probably going to end up having the kittens somewhere else. And I hope I can find them. I hope I can help them, because Pavetta had a couple of complications with her birth. She had 2 retained placentas, and the umbilical cords got tangled, and the 2 kittens couldn't nurse. So I had to actually cut them myself, not the kittens, the cords. And, you know, if something like that happens and I'm not there, you know, that's tough. So it's how it goes in nature. I kind of just have to trust that she'll figure it out. You know, cats have been doing this for hundreds of years, so surely she can figure it out on her own. But I would love to be able to be there to help if I could, as well as document it, share it with you guys. It'd be really fun to, you know, be actually able to share that very unique process of labor and you know, there's so much like pre-programmed in these cat mothers. It's crazy. Like, they don't get taught how to do it. They just know and do it. Like, for example, I think it's super funny, but the mom cats will actually stimulate the little kittens to poop and pee because they don't really know how when they're little, and then they'll just eat it. You know, nobody taught them how to do that. They just do it. And, you know, I guess they get some extra calories that way. We as humans probably think that's weird, but these guys just they just figured it out. So there's a lot of things like that that are really interesting, and I've been learning more about them. Like for example, um, I thought cats were nocturnal. Turns out they're something called crepuscular, which means they're active at dawn and dusk. And there's a couple other animals that are active at dawn and dusk, like, you know, bears, possum, skunks, deer, I think possibly raccoons, but yeah, that's just a little cat fact for you. Um, I don't know what else to say in this particular video. The main thing was to just introduce you to the cast and share the space. I am gonna weigh them here in a little bit. Maybe I'll make another video with that. But yeah, I really appreciate, you know, you taking the time to watch the video, and just would love to hear from you guys what you think of the space, if you have any suggestions, you know, what you think of their names, and just what I should make a video about next. You know, the new kittens are, whenever they arrive, that'll probably be the next big highlight. But either way, you know, like, comment, subscribe, all that. This is Pete with Pete's Cats, signing out. See you next time. Bye.